All right, guys, our next guest is Melbourne Storm playmaker Billy Walters. Billy, how are you?
Good, thanks, Clarky. How are you, mate?
Very good. Thank you for coming on the show. Now, my first question is, you had your first hit out in the purple jersey last Friday night. What did it mean for you to wear that Storm jumper? And overall, how was the experience?
Yeah, it's always proud putting on a Melbourne Storm jumper. It's got such a great history, the club itself, and had a lot of great players come through. So it was pretty awesome, I guess, putting that on. And it was only a trial, but still, it all counts, I guess. And just good, I guess, to blow the cobwebs out and start playing footy again. It's been a long pre-season, so it's good to finally start playing footy again.
Absolutely. As a team, as the Melbourne Storm, what is something you think you guys can take out of that pre-season trial?
Look, we had a lot of our younger boys playing, so I suppose it was a good eye opener for them. We have to take our game to the next level if they want to be playing consistent NRL, I guess. So we had a lot of errors in the game, and I think we probably just need to be better at that. But it was, like I said, it was a first hit out, so you can't always read too much into that. And Warriors were pretty good, so it was good having a tough opposition to play against first go.
No doubt. And what about yourself personally? Were you happy with your efforts? Any areas you felt like you needed to improve?
I was pretty happy with the way I played.
Yep.
There's always room for improvement. But I think just trying to get all the combinations going with everyone else in your team is probably just the main thing you want to try and suss out before round one.
Absolutely. As a unit, was the coaching staff happy with how the spine was looking and the chemistry of the team out there?
Look, we only completed about 50%, so they weren't very happy in that regard.
Okay.
At how we went, but they were very pleased in the effort. The amount of ball that we gave the Warriors, and still to hold them to 12 with all the great players that they have. So they were pretty happy with that. But I think we just need to clean up the errors, and I think a lot of the other stuff that probably we had problems with will sort itself out.
Yeah, I've got to ask, it was only a trial game, but did anyone cop a classic bellyache spray at halftime or at any stage during that game?
Not to us. I'm sure maybe the coaches in the coaches box probably copped a couple here and there, but no, he's usually not too bad in the trials, and they have he usually gives the reins to Jason Ryall and Mark Brentnell for the trials, so they kind of took most of the pre-game speeches and halftime talks and post-game stuff. So they were a lot calmer, I guess. And yeah, but who knows what he'll like for.
Yeah, Bellamy, one of the best out there. Obviously, he saves his best for last. What about yourself, though? We'll go back to you. What's your focus been this preseason? What's really one area where you've really looked to improve your game as you head forward to that NRL debut?
A big thing down in Owen is just consistency, and so I'm just trying to learn the most I can off some of the great players down here, like Cameron Munster and obviously Cameron Smith, and just trying to learn as much as I possibly can off them, and just I guess trying to be really consistent with my football. So having my worst game not being as bad as what my best game could potentially be. So. Yeah, just doing all the little things right, I guess, and making sure that I'm doing what the team requires me to do.
Yeah, no doubt. You touched on Storm having a lot of famous, great players at the club. Is there any one player or coach in particular that's really helped your game grow to the level it's at?
I would say Mark Brentnell. He's just moved up into the attacking coach at Melbourne Storm, and he kind of looked after all of the East feeder boys that were at Melbourne last year, and so he helped me a lot. And obviously he was a half when he was playing, so he was really good for me in that respect. And probably Cameron Munster and even Brody Croft, they've been pretty good. They're always willing to help a hand, give tips here and there whenever they see a game, what they can help. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt. I've got to ask, off the record, do you ever sit there and just scratch yourself when you're surrounded by players like Cameron Smith?
Mate, I was actually doing gym with him the other day, and he was my gym partner, and I was sitting there, and I couldn't believe, 10 years ago, I was looking up to this guy, and he was, one of my heroes, and now I'm here, putting him on the bench, and it's just, you have to pinch yourself sometimes. He's probably going to be one of the greatest ever, so just to be able to, train with him and learn off him is something that a lot of other players don't get to have. So I've got to try to make use of it, I guess.
No doubt, certainly a handy tool in your arsenal. Now, your father is the Queensland Maroons coach, NRL legend Kevin Walters. I've got to ask, coming through the junior ranks of rugby league, did you ever feel like a level of expectation carrying such a famous name within rugby league?
Yeah, I guess so. I always got a bit of stick here and there from all the boys, I guess. But he was really good about everything. He never forced me into rugby league. He just let me take my path. But I've always, I used to follow him to training all the time and watch his games all the time. So I've always wanted to play rugby league. And I don't really, it's good to get out of the shadow, but at the same time, you've got to be really proud of like what he achieved and him being able to help me even helps a lot. So, I love it. It's good.
Yeah, you touched on him helping you. I guess my next question is, how involved is Kevy with your game? Does he, after the games, is he shooting you texts telling you areas he thought you could have improved? Or does he sort of leave it to yourself to navigate those fields?
He's pretty good. He always offers his advice. So he'll go back and watch my game and cut it up for me, or he doesn't even go that far. He just tell me like maybe something I can improve on and something that he thinks I've been doing well and then I can keep doing. But he's always pretty good. Doesn't try and push too much and try and be my actual coach. He's just at the same time he's still just trying to be like any dad would and just trying to help out any way he can.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what is your main goal for 2019? What's something where, Billy Walters is hoping he can look back on 2019 and say, wow, I'm really proud of myself for achieving that?
It's obviously an NRL debut at the Melbourne Storm. It's they don't give out their jerseys lightly, and so if you make your debut for the club, that you've definitely earned it. So I would love to make my debut at some point for the club and do them proud as well and put in a good performance.
Yeah, definitely. Final question before I let you go, Bill. I've got to ask, what would an NRL debut mean to you, but also your family?
Yeah, it would mean the world to me. It's something that a lot of people dream of growing up, and I've got such a great opportunity to, I guess, realise my dream, and it would just be, a dream come true. I'd be pinching myself. I think I'd probably be very nervous leading up to the game, but I'm sure once the game started, I'd be all right. And for my family, I think same thing. They've known I've always wanted to play rugby league, and how hard I've probably worked the last, 5-10 years. So I think they'd just be really proud and really happy for me that I got to realise my dream.
No doubt. Billy, I wish you all the best for the upcoming 2019 NRL season. Thank you so much for coming on today.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me. I thought it was good.
Cheers.